miss? Did he miss? Junior want to not be on my.
Y'all, you see, I'm all happy, I'm all cheery, I'm all feeling great.
Mm.
But we about to blow that because we about to talk about my sad excuse of Giants. I love them down, but this season, y'all have tried every ounce of my nerves, every fiber in me. Just want to deck y'all on the throat. Okay, so let me tell y'all why I'm a little upset right now. So, as you know, when we talk, I believe we talked about it a few episodes ago about like,
when
how
they let the quarterback go.
right. So the Giants are abysmal, right? They suck.
Failure. Trash.
Not too much, not too much, not too much.
Girl, they are trash. No tea, no shade. Well, not now. They're all of a sudden they have had like the Undertaker. They're like the Undertaker. They have risen. Girl, stay down, please.
Like, and I've been saying for so many weeks, I was like, they just need to forfeit the season. They need to play none of their like good rookies or nothing like that, and just wait until we get the number 1 draft quarterback pick, right? No. So this last week, the recent week that just passed on Sunday, the New York Giants, who were positioned to secure the number 1 pick in this upcoming draft, sabotage their chances with a surprising 45-33 win against the Indianapolis Colts, right? The backup to the backup quarterback. He threw for 309 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. And the rookie Malik Neighbors, he had 7 receptions, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You know, you thinking like you hearing all this, you're like, wow, you should be happy. You should be excited. No.
Maybe they found their quarterback. Maybe the backup to the backup to the backup. You know how it's a hidden gem. They have a hidden gem.
Girl, we could have got Shador Sanders. I could have been seeing Dion.
I don't know. I am excited to see Shador Sanders in the league because I don't watch a lot of college football. I'm barely getting into football, but he be getting sacked a lot, and I don't think things are gonna get better in the NFL. Of course, he's a rookie. I'm on the Jaden Daniels train in the Washington Commanders. I love him down. Okay, but yes, we could have gotten, and I say we, but I don't have a team yet. I do like the Detroit Lions, and I also like Jaden Daniels. So
I also love me some Lamar.
Yes, okay. Lamar Jackson from the Ravens. They better win. It's either them or the Detroit Lions. We don't want the Kansas City Chiefs winning. All right,
not too much on my Chiefs, Shayla. Please.
All right, let's get back on the
right.
thing.
So now, instead of being potentially getting the number 1 draft pick, it's looking like they might get the 3rd, which
I thought it was 4th.
3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th is still not number 1. Right. And I'm over it. But the thing that really is kicking my gears, like, if you know, I have been coming at Saquon Barkley a lot this season because, like, honestly, I misdirected my anger. I should put all my anger into the Giants, and instead I was, giving it to Saquon because he was over there running, balling, doing everything.
Breaking records, honey.
Okay, for the Eagles. And so this coming Sunday, the Eagles are set to play the Giants, and the Eagles are sitting out all of their star players. So it's looking like
they're going to win.
Giants are going to win, pushing them farther away from the number 1 draft.
What if they just say we're not going to play the game?
Girl, the one player, what was his name? Oh my God. I don't remember. He was like, F y'all tanking or whatever like that. Like, no, y'all need to start tanking. Like, stop playing with us. But right, so he was supposed to like if Saquon was supposed to play this Sunday, he would have been aiming to beat the what was it? He had been chasing the single season rushing record, like for rushing yards and stuff like that. And honestly, because
I let him get it.
Exactly. So my thing is, like, there's been a conversation on like all the sports networks, and they're talking about like, do you think like it's a bad idea, like a good or a bad thing that they're like basically having him rest? Right. And like, I think as a fan, I'm mad about it because I'm like, I would have loved to see him do this against the Giants just to show the owners, like, look what y'all did. And when the season is over, I need the GM, everyone underneath to be taken out, like clean shit. Like, I'm not playing with y'all. Y'all literally are the reason why this team is a continuous sinking ship. You have done nothing right. Y'all thought that Saquon wasn't worth the money that he was supposed to be paid. And you basically told him to go look for the money that y'all were supposed to pay him.
And he did.
Now look at him. Potentially, he's in the MVP talks. If this man was to like play against the Giants on Sunday and get that single season record, and on top of that, if the season ends and he wins MVP, baby. When I tell you, Governor Murphy, your last action needs to be to step in and tell the Giants, everybody.
Or no, that's not our team. They just play here, remember?
Okay, but them Texas speaking. Listen, I don't get Governor Hochul, Governor Murphy. Somebody need to tell everybody y'all fired.
Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, I understand why they're like resting him. They have bigger goals. And the way life works, God forbid he does play a half, whatever, and something happens. Like, you don't want that. Right. But the competitive in me, the competitor, I'm like, yeah, better let me play. Or at least like a half or whatever. Cause it's like the reality is that there's nothing that can ensure that you're gonna have this great season next year or the years that are to come
again. Exactly. And like then they'll always talk about, like, let's say, I mean, you know how I feel about the Eagles. I really can't stand them anyway. But like, let's say that the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl. It's like now you're like, you should have let him like do that since he didn't win this. But it's like it's always like one of those what ifs. And it's just like, I don't know. We'll see. But I would really have liked him, like, as much as I love my Giants, I do not like the owners, and I would have loved for Saquon to basically spit on him by winning that season record against the Giants. I would have loved to see it. But
so on that note,
let us move on.
Let's move on to the NBA, honey. So as we've talked about before, the NBA has been in shambles a little bit. I think they're kind of climbing back with the viewership, the storylines, and who better than Jimmy Butler to bring the flame to the league? So if you did not know, Jimmy Butler plays for the Miami Heat. And earlier, well, actually not earlier because now we're in a new year. Last year, there was reports by Shams, who is an ESPN reporter, and he was reporting out that the teams that Jimmy Butler wanted to go to. So as you see here, it says the Phoenix Suns are another team that Jimmy Butler's agent, Bernie Lee, has indicated in league circles that the 6-time All-Star is open to as destination, while Miami listens to trade offers. Sources tell Dallas and also the Golden State Warriors. But here's the gag. We can take this off. So Shams was reporting that Jimmy Butler wanted out from the Miami Heat. And Bernie Lee, who we showed here, quote tweeted Shams is reporting saying, you're a liar, you're this, like, I don't know where you're getting your information from. He even came on some wild stuff, talking about some like chat GBT could have written, like on some wild stuff. And lo and behold, Jimmy Butler said this about him and like his relationship. Do we have the video of what he has to say? Let's play that.
And I don't shoot the ball a lot, but we won't sit here and say that I don't play hard.
What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it?
What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off the court. But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Him saying off the court, yeah.
Right. Who doesn't love Miami? But that's what is so interesting. So Bernie Lee, his agent, was going rah on Shams, a reporter, for saying you're spreading fake news, whatever. And then here comes Jimmy Butler saying that essentially he's not happy with the Miami Heat anymore. He wants to go play for a team that actually might have a chance to make it to the playoffs. And so I don't know where the miscommunication is happening, if Bernie, as the agent, thinks that it's best to keep it under wraps because we don't want teams or the outside noise getting in the middle of us actually getting you somewhere. But if we know anything about Jimmy, of course, we don't know him personally, but Jimmy is very outspoken. He says how he feels. And so you should know this as his agent. Like he's the type of person that I feel like you can't control. He's going to say what he wants. So how are you coming down a reporter's throat for reporting things that you know? Because don't tell me that Bernie don't know how Jimmy Butler is feeling. And if he doesn't, then Jimmy needs to fire his ass, because what are you doing? How you don't know what your client wants? That's crazy. Like, just stay shut. Don't come for the reporter. And I think also reporters have gotten like a bad rep, especially like Malika. I think that's her name. People don't like her because of the questions that she asks and things that she brings up. Okay, feel how you want to, but at the end of the day, reporters are not here to be your friends. They're here to maintain their job. If you get the scoops, and I get it, it's hard. Like, yes, there is a middle ground, and we should understand how people feel, whatever. Be careful the words that you use. Yes. But at the end of the day, reporters, journalists are not your friends. They're there to maintain their job and report what they see.
But also, it's not even just like being friends. Like, obviously, you build like a professional
relationship with them,
right? But it's just like, for you to be like, oh, like you're lying, you're this, you're that, and then your client comes out and says this, like now I have to question your credibility, because now if you're going to come at a reporter who's literally doing their job by reporting what they're being told by sources and stuff like that, and you sit there and be like, you're a liar, you're this, you're that, but then your client gets on the podium and it was like, they ask him like, do you think you'll ever get your joy here ever again? Probably not. So now what we doing now?
And also, you're a business.
I'd have been like, this you? This you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, actions speak louder than words. But it's also like, as an agent, you are a representation of yourself. So if I'm an athlete, oh baby, I would never want you to be my agent. So you also tanking yourself.
Right. And then also, like, to just switch gears and talk more about Jimmy Butler, I think it's one of those things, and Shayla and I can attest to this. When you are just over or like reached your breaking point of like level of not care for your job, it's kind of like there is no happiness. Like, no matter what you say to me, no matter what you do for me, I am not happy here, and I'm doing everything I can to get out. And it's just like, whether that's vocalizing that or whether that's just, just not putting in your whole, like your all into it. Sometimes that's just what you need to do. Like, if you're not happy somewhere, sometimes you just need like, it needs to be seen. Like, I'm not happy here.
Yeah. And I think even like the organization is saying like, oh, Jimmy is not putting his all in. It's like, well, 1 + 1 = 2. Well, exactly. Since he's not showing energy, or he's not giving his 100% effort because he doesn't want to be here. But also, the organization is not just going to let Jimmy go for some crumbs. They want a lot out of it. I saw a report, I don't know if it's true or not, that they want Wiggins from the Warriors. Would you accept that?
No. Let me tell you this right now. Where the place that I think
Jimmy for Wiggins, yes or no?
I'm sorry, no. Like, I'm sorry. Wiggins is just getting back, like getting his feet underneath him. He's finally showing some type of consistency. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I love Jimmy down, but I do not need him on my Warriors, honestly. And if let's say we do end up going for him, I'll give you 3 other players before I sit there and take them over Wiggins.
Well, I think that's exactly why Jimmy is still with the Miami Heat, because the Miami Heat want a lot for him, and other organizations are not willing to do that.
And you know where I think would be a good fit for him potentially?
Where?
I think, now this is the hypothetical.
You better ask it. Okay, who?
What do you think I was going to say?
No, go.
I think that Jimmy Butler and the Pelicans should make a trade and send Zion. I mean, Zion, he obviously can't keep his pity whacker in his pants, but what Popper
and in Miami, that's not a good thing for him.
But like, I think that would be like the best thing for him, because I think that him and CJ McCollum would be really good together. I feel like their game could kind of offset each other and possibly see some type of victory. Right? But then I just feel like Zion, it's like a sinking ship with him in like New Orleans. Like, he's not doing anything.
Yeah. But I think if anything, they would want to, because isn't Zion like a center essentially, or no? What's his position? I think they would probably want someone like him, right? Because if they don't really have a lot of centers, they have this one guy, but also he sometimes deals with injuries a
But
lot.
I'm thinking in terms of like what Jimmy Butler is good at. He's good at like doing the mid-range shot. He's good at getting to like the basket, and stuff like that. Like I feel like his play and his type of intensity would be great for the Pelicans. And I feel like Miami is kind of needs to go into like a rebuilding stage. And I feel like if they took Zion, they could potentially do that.
Unless the Pelicans have a lot of picks and stuff like that. I don't think they have enough value to give to the Miami Heat.
But
I
it's
think
like,
that's where the
if
issue
you're
lies.
willing, I feel like there's value in being a franchise player though. And like as much as we say Zion is always injured and stuff, he is a franchise player. So it's like franchise player for franchise player. I think that would be a great swap.
Okay, TBD. We'll see if Rebecca saw our future.
So yes, I also wanted us to kind of talk about and continue our conversation about the NBA. And I wanted to talk about like something that I've been seeing a lot on like First Take, Get Up, and everything like that about like the NBA becoming a 3-point league. Now, as someone who, yes, I love my Knicks, but I also love my Golden State Warriors. And if I love my Golden State Warriors, I love my Stephen Curry, right? And greatest 3-point shooter of all time. Talk to your mama, don't argue with me. Okay. So do I think that we're seeing an increase of 3-point shooting and stuff like that? Yes. And there was like, I was watching I know Shayla said, don't come from my Celtics, but no, I'm just using this as an example. So you guys have this one center on your team. I think his last name starts with a K.
Porzingis?
Nah, not that one. The other one, the one who's filling in for him right now.
K Neemis, Neema.
No, it's a different one. He black.
Is he dark skinned? Yes, Neemis is dark. He had like a white band.
Yeah. So yesterday, when I was watching the game, right, there was a play where Dante DiVincenzo got put onto him. And so when he got the ball, Dante DiVincenzo is obviously a smaller person. So you would think he would automatically try and make a beeline to the basket. So he gets close to the basket. And when he does that, instead of doing his layup, he passes the ball to Al Horford, who's behind the 3-point line, and Al Horford makes the shot and misses. And like, I think that's just like a perfect example, kind of, because it's like, I feel like you consistently see this in the game where it's like you have the layup. It's accessible. Like you got it. But instead you want to go for the 3-point shot. And it's like, sometimes the 3-point shot is not needed. There's even times where I'm like, when Steph makes a certain three, I'm like, you literally could have went to the basket. Or like you had like Trace Jackson open, or you could have gave the ball to Draymond. Draymond could have did a layup. It's like, I feel like sometimes these teams want to go too quickly with the 3 and instead lose the fundamental of like the 2-point shot.
I agree. I think as a Celtics fan, yes, it does piss me off. Especially like I could already tell from the first 5 minutes what type of game my team about to have. In the first 5 minutes, sometimes my Celtics they cannot miss a shot. It's 3-3, boom, boom. And I'm not going to lie, when it's like that, everything is smooth sailing. I'm like, yes, we're doing good. We're going to win this. But when we 3 minutes in and you missing every other 3, let's wrap it up. I think there should be a rule, since we are having these 3-point issues, that you cannot take X amount of threes in the first X minute of a quarter. Because it's like at some point, like I feel like the mid-range shot is non-existent for a majority of players, which I think is why I now lean a little bit more towards the WNBA. Of course, it's because it's women, but like they're not shooting threes all the time. Yes, of course, we do have like the shooters that shoot threes often, but like if they are close to the rim, they will take a layup. Like they will take a mid-range shot. They're not just stuck on the threes and the threes and the threes. And also another point that I think you mentioned, not everybody is Stephen Curry. I think Stephen Curry just hit like a record, like 8 consecutive threes. But guess what? Sometimes he has off days, which he has been having a lot. And why? I mean, I don't know this for sure. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to come for players because I could never do what they do. But it's either he's on or he's off.
And also, I think what it is that sometimes the 3-point shot is just not there for you. So if it's not there for you,
You
why
need
do you
something
keep
else to
working?
fall back on.
Exactly. Like go back to the fundamentals, get a layup, do a mid-range shot.
Yeah.
Sometimes being behind the arc is not what's going to be best for you.
I agree. But then again, I hate talking about that because it's like I could not make the
I
layup
mean,
or a
honestly,
midi.
I know I couldn't do the only game I could possibly play is around the world. But like that's and even that is
Right.
it's a little shaky, you know?
But because we care for the game and we support, there's just things from a viewer's perspective of how we think. I love my Celtics down, but I could tell from the first 5 minutes what type of game we about to have.
And honestly, like when I saw Steph doing all them shoot threes yesterday, I was sitting there, I was like, technically the 76ers aren't as good as they have been in past years. And
Yeah.
that's just because, like, you know, there's been a lot of drama
Injuries.
and everything, injuries and stuff like that
Yeah.
surrounding the team. But it's just like to see him do them threes, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun when they're going in. When the threes are going in, I'm like, yes, and another one, and another one. But baby, when you start hitting rim, brick, when it starts being brick city, you're like, yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's make a few layups,
Shayla, what's the
please.
word? Rim, brick.
Yes, I'll be so mad, and I hate when I'm mad because I'm like, Shayla, you can't even do half the stuff that they're doing. But I'm like, can we please